We're going out to the garden. It's week 24, and that bed has horrible soil. I've not been happy with seed starting. I'll talk later about what was planted when. This herb pot needs some help. Some stuff hasn't been potted into it, and I have another one I'm going to combine it with. I did start trying to remove this grass on a whim. Basically just took the stuff that was going to seed. Here's my green stalk that needs to get dumped, and I'm going to plant it this week with strawberries. There is my bed with a bunch of primroses that I pulled out of a dahlia bed, and there's a couple other nursery things there. This one poor little strawberry has survived in the green stalk for years, toppled over. So there were some, I think they're native geraniums that somebody gifted me, and there's a little bit of Viola Adunca that's looking very sad. That I just pulled out of an aisle at the Master Gardener garden. But the primroses are two different varieties. One that was found on the farm that I now work for, and the other was a gift from a friend who's gardened in the area forever. And I got to get rid of all of the rest of this tall grass and buttercup. These strawberries were from that green stalk that I rescued when it was toppled over, and they're going okay. I'm going to replant it with strawberries. This is what I'm calling Dahlia Bed C. Mostly dahlias, few things stuck in, a few volunteers, and the irises are going to get rehomed sometime soon, now that they are just about finished blooming. Another gift from a friend a few years ago. I think I started with 3. The one flower pot that I actually planted, I got the free geranium from work because it has no flower stem. I don't even know if I see anything in there yet. Maybe I won't even get blooms this year. And a couple annuals I bought. And my peas. And around the base of the peas I have alyssum, which I never thinned or moved around, and calendulas. I've stuck a few nasturtiums in there. Really didn't move as many nasturtiums as I was going to. I have done part of my barking project, and this was my old bark that I just threw on the ground when there was a bunch of mud, and then I started with ground cloth, but as you can see, it's slow going. This is the other pot that is going to get herbs that is just a leftover pot of things that I just need to figure out what to do, and that poor broken lavender there. This little cart was from a vintage store. It's going to move over towards the greenhouse eventually, so it's kind of got leftover greenhouse stuff there, but I'm just not ready yet. Ooh, and that arugula I bought at Cornell Farms the other day. It's very tasty. It's Sparkle arugula from Log House Plants. This is the Dahlia Bed B that is doing crazy good. I should have thinned these. I should have pinched them. I'm just letting things go this year. And like I said, I have lots of nasturtiums I should rehome. I found some onions around the yard, so I planted them around the edge of this. And then I found more, and I haven't. Hey, Monty. Monty, you're in the way. My Shastas, aka my slug farm, is doing okay. This whole planter along the driveway, I am halfway rehabbing, leaving the Shastas. I got a lot of buttercup and stuff. There used to be other perennials in there. There's a little Douglas aster, but that's about it. And so I'm just not moving on it too quickly. This is Dahlia Bed A with some stuff at the end. I'll end up taking a lot of sad plants home from work. And then the California poppies I just pulled out of the Master Gardener garden when we were planting peppers because they were in the way. This is the bed that I redid. This was my original dahlia bed that I planted my 2023 tubers in 2024. They had lived in pots for a year and then got planted out. I started dividing them this year and realized it was a much bigger project than I ever would have imagined. So some of them I divided and got tiny little tubers and tiny little plants, and then some of them I just hacked into 2 or 3 pieces, and I still have this much coming up. So that's a really good comparison, I suppose. And then you can see there's some medium ones, and then there's some newer plants at the end. The ones at the very end, I planted 3 on each end as insurance for those ones on the other end of this bed that I wasn't sure about. And then this one is a new to me this year, as is that hole that hasn't come up. So that's one that I bought that is not working out. I'm going to go back to Dahlia Bed B for a minute. Sorry, I'm probably moving the camera way too fast on this rainy Monday morning. So I don't remember why I was going to go back to this bed. Otherwise, maybe just showing it's tall. I don't know. There was something I was going to say. Oh, in all of the dahlia beds in the center, I threw a few sunflower seeds. There's some volunteer tomatoes in this one as well. But let me go back over to Dahlia Bed A. So this one is kind of, because there's so much empty space, it's kind of become the nursery bed. I threw some yarrow in as I was cleaning up that driveway planter. I did try some Viola Adunca down there at the end that just got crispy. You can see the Nemesia that I got from work that was sad, I haven't planted yet, and Calibrachoa that looks better than it did, and some Coreopsis that's looking better that I haven't planted yet. Some sunchokes that were a gift from a friend that I haven't figured out where they're going to be in a container yet, because they will spread. My tomatoes, I will talk more about them on another video, because this one is introductory and going to have a whole lot of stuff. My other planter, I moved out my new citrus plants this morning when I knew it was going to rain. I thought that might be nice for them. And I have the fuchsias I got at work the other day, and so they're just going to be greenhouse residents, I think, in the shade, or they might be over in the shade area. I don't know. I just wanted some fuchsias. I have 3 dahlias in pots back there that have not come up yet. That was the end of season sale at Swan Island. I have the 2 whitish pots were part of my dahlia division, where I just had so many fabulous, that's the name of them, fabulous pink dahlias. And so this was my first putting them in pots. And then again, this is kind of when I was running out of steam, and I'm like, I have these big chunks, I need them to go somewhere. I do have a couple that end of the season ones that have started coming up. Lovely Rita and Sweet Treat. Sweet Treat was one of the newer ones that was crazy expensive, and I figured 35% off, that's the time to try that. And then a few, like a dahlia that was gifted from a friend, and the one in the white pot there was another one that I got from work, purchased. And still working on this grass, getting the grass out. The reason I've got ground cloth and bark on one side and cardboard on the other is because I'm trying to figure out how wide of an aisle I want and what I'm going to do with this horrible planter over here. I did level this area over here. That's where the green stalk is going to go, and I'm trying to get the dogs to stop digging in this area. I think they're after the Crocosmia corms, or maybe some bluebells or whatever they're called. But yeah, they just keep digging. This, when I was at work yesterday, this was a new excavation for them. But they didn't bother the Crocosmias until this year. This year, for some reason, they are wanting to dig and eat. So you can see that, well, you can't see. You don't know. There's a scallop border down there that goes all along this bed that I need to try to get back to. And so you can see now that the Crocosmias have worked their way into the grass. So I just need to dig up this whole area. And that area back there, I don't need so many Crocosmias, and there's some what do you call them? Calla lilies back there, and of course blackberries everywhere, because Oregon. There's a really neat fern back there on the other side of the fence. The elderberry, I didn't even remember it being here ever before, and look at how big that thing is now. So I'm gonna need to probably get this out of here. It's a little crazy big, but on the other hand, I kind of like this secluded little corner, the door of my greenhouse, but this will drastically change over the next season, I think. And then this is my greenhouse, and there's Monty, yeah. So I started this project mid-May. I got the Kingbird greenhouse. Let me back up for a second. Woo. This is going to be no editing, so sorry if I'm making you sick. I am new to this style of shooting. So I got the Kingbird greenhouse. This one is the one that came with shelves. So most of them just come with that diagonal piece there, and then you're supposed to be diagonal on the opposite side on the opposite end. So theoretically, over there should have been a diagonal. And then most of them, that's been all they've done. Well, then they added these shelves. And again, the shelves are supposed to be diagonal, but I thought I'd like them better on the same side, and I tried it and it worked. So it's just a different model. This one is 15 feet roughly by 6.5 by 6.5 roughly. And so I don't know if I'm going to leave these on this side, because then I have an interrupted run. I was thinking the shelves would be nice on that side versus the far side. But we'll see. And I think it's going to be hard to change, so I probably won't change it. But never know. So what's going to happen? I got these green shelving units from Webstraunt store, because they're supposed to be, waterproof and all that. And so these are 24 inches deep. This one is 27 inches high because I'm short, and you can see that's where I'm doing my potting. And then the other one I'm calling this my potting bench and calling that one my work table. It's 34 inches high, and these are both 24 inches deep, 48 inches long. And so what's going to happen is this week I'm getting more shelving. So over here, this is where my supplies are going to go. And so this is going to be a 54 inch tall, 14 inch deep, 42 inch wide. So the trash can still sit in front of it, and it won't take up much of the aisle or the doorway. And then over on this side, hey Monty, where all of my peppers and basil are, I'm going to have 27 inch tall, 14 inch deep units. And because they only come in 42s and 48s, and I have about 88 inches in the center, I'm going with two 42s. So there will be two more 42-inch shelving, so the peppers can go on top. The basil hopefully squeeze in. I just wasn't really thinking about growing plants in here. I was really thinking of it more as storage and a workspace. And the peppers don't have to be in here, but we'll see. We'll see what stays in here when. But this way I have room for my citrus. And then this end, again, because I don't have shelving, everything is just everywhere. But a lot of the stuff will end up on shelving. And then this area here, where it's just this cardboard pile and some more boxes to unpack and stuff, is going to end up being where my long-handled tools go and stuff, I think. So that, you can see I did a houseplant potting day last week. I've been doing some seed starting the past couple days, and that's what I'm in the middle of. I'm going to try to do a garden video each week. I realize now I'm probably not going to show everything every week. Like I said, I'll talk more about the tomatoes and stuff next time. But I want this record for me. And I don't know if I introduced Parker. Parker, you're drinking the water. That's okay. That water is okay for you. That's just water. So I want to document this for me, kind of where things are, and then I don't know what it'll turn into, if anything. Maybe it'll just be for me. But I use these these clips to hold this back. And the Kingbird greenhouse, this one, what's neat about it is it has doors on both ends. So that was the other reason I went to 15 feet. I will include a couple things on the greenhouse. Like I said, this one is 15 feet. They have a 10-foot version, so it would just, I think, be 3 sections instead of 4. And then I was going to get something even smaller. I ended up getting this one once my husband said he wanted us to have citrus. So, and then I realized I don't know how protected it's going to be in here. But anyway, it was a good excuse to get one in this place. This just fits in my place pretty well here. So, fun stuff. I'm Em, and next week I'll get to show you some progress And let's come back out here for a sec. Yeah, just want to make sure I kind of get some heights on these things for comparison. So we'll keep you posted. Thanks for watching.